Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The DRFBets race of the day for Wednesday, December the 19th, race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. We're going a mile and a 16th on the turf. It is an entry-level optional claimer for fillies and mares. You can bet this nice card with a DRFBets account and the 300% deposit match that goes along with it. Very easy sign up at bets.drf.com. Here's the field for your Wednesday race of the day. You can access free formulator past performances on the race of the day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post position order, beginning with the number 1, She's Right Again. Matt, this horse has won 3 out of her last 5 starts, but against inferior competition to the horses she's going to be facing on Wednesday. But it's hard to ignore what this barn has done in 2018, 10 winners from 26 starters.
I was going to say, I guess it's probably a combination of being selective and also not having a ton of stock. That's why the numbers are as small as they are, but the win percentage is very, very strong. And you're right, this filly, look, she's in good enough form. The question now becomes, do you think she can handle a hike in class, and do you think she can handle taking on horses at Gulfstream as opposed to Tampa Bay Downs? I thought she traveled well enough in that most recent run, but she popped back to her left lead at the very end. I don't know if it was a combination of her being a little bit bored just because she had buried everyone else, or if perhaps that distance was starting to be a little bit of a bugaboo for her. She's going to be a middling or a longer price, and she probably deserves to be. But again, if you're not look, put it this way, I had a hard time with this race. I don't love anyone. I could respect anyone that says I'll take a shot with a horse that's in good form.
Especially one that draws such a comfortable inside post with tactical speed. You have to figure that she'll be forwardly placed, probably right in behind the leaders, and if she's good enough, she'll have a chance when the field turns into the stretch. The number 2, Colonel's Daughter, finished ahead of 2 next out winners in her most recent start, but that was a beaten $30,000 claiming race, and she's another that takes a big step up in class. She's also kind of a one-run closer that needs some pace.
Yeah, and I guess the difference for me between the 1 and the 2, the 1 brings some tactical speed to the game and has had some faster races on her page, as opposed to Colonel's Daughter, who is that one-run closer, needs some pace, and is yet to run fast. I don't like her.
She ran 3rd last time out. The 4th place finisher, one of the 2 next out winners, returned to score with a 71 buyer, but only in a $16,000 claimer. The 3 Fool's Gold, you know, has to take money because it's Chad Brown and Jose Ortiz, and she's taking a class drop in my opinion here. She was in against next out 86 buyer winner Lion in Wait, next out 84 buyer runner-up Ferdinand in her most recent start at Belmont. But I wonder if she's kind of fool's gold. I mean, she has trouble putting races together. Her only lifetime win came on dirt.
Yeah, it's possible. I will say, though, from a speed figure standpoint, her turf races are considerably better, even though she's only won so far on dirt. You brought up the fact that that race has come back in solid enough form. So I think if you're looking at it saying, I don't know if you agree or if others agree. This race, I just had a hard time being in love with anyone. And when I look at it and say, you know what, sometimes it just does come down to, are you getting some class relief? Are you facing lesser horses? If she's here, I assume she's ready to go. I don't love her, but I can understand why she makes some sense.
The Jersey bred, the number 4 Diamond Play, it looks like a nice claim for trainer Kelly Breen. Took this one for only $12,000 back in the summer. Been rewarded with a victory at Suffolk Downs. Just missed last time out at Gulfstream West. It seems like she's really tactical. And Timeform US rated her last race pretty strongly.
Yeah, you know, I guess the interesting thing here with this filly, if you believe the buyers, then she's probably a fringe contender at best. She has some races in her past that are good enough to win. From a Timeform standpoint, she is right there. And again, it really, for me, just boils down to more a matter of what did she face in that most recent run at Gulfstream West. I didn't think that field was very good. If you think that she's in good form, then it's simple as, okay, just chalk it up and say she's right there. But at 5-1, it's a little bit light to me.
Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector. I found it really hard to project a leader in here. I'm not sure if it's going to be the 5 Nantucket Red. I know you like this filly a little bit. You wouldn't mind at all if Nantucket Red could get out to the lead. And while she finished behind Fool's Gold in her most recent turf start back on September the 29th, she was close to a pretty fast pace over a soft turf that I don't think she loved.
I have to be honest, that's how I laid this thing out, is exactly how the pace projector has it. I hope that she goes right to the front and say, come and catch me. There is no confirmed speed in here. She has run well enough in the past where she's been relatively close to the pace. She's just supposed to draw a line through the most recent race that was on a sloppy sealed track. 2 starts back, that's soft going. She was close to those hot fractions over a boggy turf course. Not holding that against her. Those 4 races prior to that, I recognize she's not a world beater and she's only won once, but all of those races are fast enough to win in a spot like this. Again, I don't love anyone in this race, but I just think perhaps that tactical advantage is enough to make the difference.
And 3 starts back, while the trip looked like it was going to work out down the backstretch, she was locked inside, turning into the lane, and was really in behind horses for most of the stretch. So you might want to take a kind view of that running line as well. We move to the number 6, Indy Geeta, who is up close to the pace on your pace projector, and she is in good form, but when you see that she's 0 for 17 over this turf course, it's a little bit worrisome.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing that just stuck out to me from a buyer standpoint. She's got some races that are fast enough to win in here, and she has won in the past. But boy, 0 for 17 at Gulfstream, at a certain point you have to look at it and say maybe she just doesn't appreciate the surface. She returns from the fairgrounds where she finished ahead of a next out winner, a horse that earned a 76 buyer in that victory, but a horse that needed a drop into a $30,000 non-winners of 2 life to do so. The 7 Janet B Does It All removes blinkers for trainer Steve Dwoskin. This filly hasn't shown a lot of speed in her last 2 starts. I wonder if it's just this jump from winners into this level has just been too much for her. Yeah, it's possible, and it's also worth noting she broke her maiden on that dirt surface. She didn't actually do it on the grass, and we mentioned that's happened with one of the other fillies in this spot, but to me, she's just too slow right now to really be viewed as a main contender. The number 8 Little Irish Dancer, the number 9 Callio, both exit the same race. It was an allowance at Keeneland on October the 24th. Little Irish Dancer was dismissed at 65 to 1 that day, but she did finish ahead of Callio. She was kind of evenly paced inside. I wonder if the mile and 3/16 that day was just a little bit far for her. It's possible. I find it interesting that 79's kind of come out of nowhere, and there really is no indication from an equipment standpoint or anything like that as to reason why she took such a giant step forward. The only thing that I could possibly draw a conclusion is that was her first start at Keeneland, and maybe she just really appreciated it. It is worth noting, though, you brought up Callio, comes out of that race as well. I don't love the form of that race. I know Overthinking came back and was the next out winner, but none of them have run particularly fast coming out of that. Rawway even was a next out winner, but I'm more concerned about how fast have they run coming out of that race. It's one thing to win, it's another thing to win in slow fashion. Callio, I think, can be forwardly placed. I know Timeform US has more of a mid-pack presence in this race, but she's been forward in her last 2 starts, and I don't think the pace will be overly fast in here. Now, maybe I'm overrating her victory at Kentucky Downs 2 starts back. Some horses just love that surface, some don't. She was able to win, but her form going into that maiden race at Kentucky Downs was solid. I was disappointed with her effort at Keeneland last time out, although Timeform US did have some of those internal fractions color-coded red. Maybe she just went too fast against a sharp Overthinking. Yeah, and also perhaps taking on winners for the first time. Maybe it was just a little bit too much too soon. I agree with you. I look at it and say she's going to be much more forward. I think she's going to be up there, maybe not on the lead, but I think she'd be sitting just off of it, if not pushing it. My concern is what you had laid out, that Kentucky Downs situation, man. Anytime a horse really takes their game to another level, and it's not like that was out of left field, but she certainly improved. And it just makes me wonder, did she just really get over that track in a better fashion than some of these other horses? We'll find out, though. I think she is interesting if you're looking for a pace play. The horse with the most upside might be the number 10, Cured by Kitten, 7-2 on the morning line, recent maiden winner at Keeneland. Watching that race, it looked like she had some pace to run into. She was a little bit green and looked like she was in trouble at the 8th pole in between horses, but I think she called upon her stamina. She's by Kitten's Joy, and she was able to dig in and win that race. I'm not sure cutting back to a mile and a 16th is really going to be, her best game, but that maiden win was promising enough. Yeah, if you look at it from a buyer standpoint, highest last out figure in the field with 79. She makes all the sense in the world. The time form rating is solid. She did have pretty legitimate pace to run at that day, as you made mention. The second place finisher came back and earned a 57 in her next start. Didn't love that. I know the 5th place finisher earned a 73, so perhaps that at least makes you think that race is going to hold up. I'm still going to hold back judgment and say 7-2, 3-1. I think that's a little light. Pass It On graduated at Gulfstream during the championship meeting of 2018, ran well in 1 start against winners, then didn't run so well on March the 14th. It was interesting that after that race, she was off for 2 months. She was entered in a race in June, was listed as a vet scratch, and she has been gone since. So this is a very long layoff for Pass It On. Good news, if you believe, is that Shugmigay does very well with horses off 6-month layoffs, as we see from this formulator fact. Over the past 4 years, older turf routers off 6-month layoffs, when they return in optional claiming races like this one, 4 for 9, a positive ROI. The layoff worries me, even with this formulator fact, though, Matt, and this outside post, no bargain, but she faced some good horses last year. I was going to say that run in March, not only did it precede such a long layoff, but she was facing much, much better horses than what she's going to face in this spot here. Camilla Princess was the next out winner with an 88. We know at Geo Game she was a decent enough horse on dirt. Mitchell Road was the next out winner with an 80. So she faced really solid horses there. If you think you're going to get an effort like you did 2 or even 3 starts back, she's mildly intriguing. I think the thing that at least combining that formulator fact with the fact that she's won off of the layoff in the past, that's how she broke her maiden last January, maybe that gives you some reason to believe there's something here. But boy, you combine that with that 11 post like you made mention, I think it's just going to be a bit of a tough go for her.
Wide open event, your DRFBets race of the day for Wednesday the 9th. We throw up our top selections. You're going to go with the 5 Nantucket Red, 4-1 on the morning line. You're hoping Time Form US's pace projector is right on target. If you're Luis Saez, let's make the front and make a bunch of questionable horses try to catch me.
Yeah, make someone else make a decision. Go on with it. You have a tactical advantage, I think. But total transparency, I have no interest in betting this race because I think it's very, very difficult. Hard for me to make heads or tails of it. If you're playing a rainbow or you're playing any of the multi-race wagers, to me, this is a deep, deep spread. I went 5, 10, 9, and 11.
I'll take a stab with Kallio, hoping that he gets the Nantucket Red trip in here. I want Edgar Zayas to be aggressive and make the front and try to make these others catch him. Brendan Walsh has had a good start to this meet. I like the recent bullet workout at Palm Meadows. I think Kallio is going to be aggressively ridden out of there. She's 8-1 on the morning line. I'll go 9, 10, 8, 6 in race number 9 at Gulfstream, your DRFBets race of the day for Wednesday. Remember, you can play this card with a DRFBets account. You will be rewarded with a 300% deposit match when you sign up at bets.drf.com. An approximate post time for race number 9 at Gulfstream on Wednesday, 4:36 Eastern. Good luck.